What's up, fight fans? Thank you once again for coming through. Much appreciated. Remember, if you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. If you are watching another video again, thank you very much. Alright, I'm just going to do a very brief video on what I just saw. Obviously, Joesph Parker defends his WBO heavyweight title by, what was it, majority decision. So one judge had it a draw, and then two judges had it 118-110 to him. A very difficult fight to score. I actually was watching it. I almost didn't score it. One thing I did say is that I didn't want someone to win a world title fight like the way Hughie did. People might say that's his style, and I get that. But as a boxing man myself, I just hate that style. Not throwing anything really. On the back foot, almost running, if I have to be honest. Flicking out the jab that had nothing on it. And on the other occasion, landing the uppercut when Parker came in. Parker, on the other hand, is very limited. So one-dimensional. Maybe the first 2 or 3 rounds he was trying to jab to the body to try and slow Hughie down. Hughie worked it out easily, and then Parker didn't know what he was doing. So one-dimensional. He needs to watch videotapes of maybe an earlier Golovkin, not the Golovkin now who again has become a bit one-dimensional, but the Golovkin that fought Lemieux, Golovkin fought Matthew Macklin, and learn how to cut someone down, because he was just walking after Hughie doing exactly the same thing. A sloppy jab, then he tried to throw a big overhand right. It was so basic. It was so basic. On the odd occasion he caught Hughie, of course he would, but for a heavyweight champion to be that bad sickens me, if I'm honest with you, it sickens me. He would be nothing more than a journeyman fighter in the 80s or 90s. I tweeted this. If he was in the 80s or 90s, he would be a journeyman fighter with about 25 losses on his record. He was that bad. And now I can clearly see why every heavyweight, unless your name's not Anthony Joshua Wilder, is calling him out, because he is very beatable. Very beatable. Hughie need to beat him tonight. Hughie is a novice and he need to beat him tonight. Hughie can come again. There's things that I like about him. I was watching him and he almost reminded me of a guy that was a middleweight, a light-footed middleweight, very fleet-footed. He's a big guy. He's what, 6'5", 6'6", 17 stone. He's a big guy, but he moves around the ring like he's very light-footed. If they can get him to have a bit more power on that jab and maybe stand his ground a bit more and land some punches, there's something to work there with. I really do believe that. He's still young. It's his only defeat. But I don't know, it's very similar to the way Tyson Fury fought against Vladimir Klitschko. But Tyson Fury, as I said, stood his ground sometimes and landed some very good punches and some good combinations. Hughie didn't do that. I don't know what's next for either man. Parker wants to stay in the UK. I can imagine Eddie Hearn looking at Dylan White rubbing his hands, maybe even the window of Tony Bellew, David A thinking we have a shot. Any heavyweight in around the top 15, 20 has got a shot with him. Really do. For Hughie, I think he needs to stay in the mix. He needs to stay in and around the top 20, 30. They can't, now he's lost that, put him up against another journeyman or another bum. He's got to stay in there against someone that makes sense. I don't know how easy it is for Mick Hennessy to get these fights, but if not, I'm sure Frank Warren can get him a fight if they want to do something with Frank. But nonetheless, it was a bad fight, poor fight. Look, you know what the thing is about Hughie and his camp? They've got to understand, and look, this is just my 2 cents. They've got to understand that boxing's an entertaining sport. You can't fight like that and expect people to want to pay to watch your next fight. I'm sorry, it's true. Boxing purists might love that style, but the casual fan, especially in the heavyweight division, they want to see knockouts. And I don't know if people are willing to pay to see you run backwards and not engage in a fight. So they might struggle to get him in a competitive fight against someone soon, because that requires money, which means it might be on YouTube pay-per-view again. I don't know how many people are going to want to watch and spend their money on pay-per-view to see Hughie fight again when that's what he produces. Again, that might be his style, but that style isn't what the casuals want to see. It really isn't. So it's difficult for me just to lay the blame on Parker, but Parker is the world champion. It takes 2 to fight sometimes. Parker wanted to fight and Hughie wanted to run. That was my interpretation of the fight. What do you guys think? How good is Parker? How good is Hughie? The scorecards, 118-110, realistic or just stupid? Or was Adelaide Byrne in the house? And what next for both men? How would Parker do against the likes of Joshua Wilder, Ortiz, anyone in and around that, even Dylan White, Bellew, Hay? You know what fight I wouldn't mind seeing? I wouldn't mind seeing Hughie Fury versus Tony Bellew. I don't think it'll be made. I don't think it can be made, but I think that'll be a good fight. That'll be a good fight. But if I'm Hughie Fury tonight, I'll be kicking myself because there was a chance to become a world champion, and instead of engaging when you had the options to engage, you decided to still stay on the back foot and run, and that's the reason you're not world champion tonight.